Hello fellow musicians, this is VXT and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be reviewing a brand new single, Shellshock. It's an official music video coming straight from HeatherSun, and from what I was able to read off of their website, HeatherSun is basically based out of USA, mostly East Coast. It's got 4 members, we got a drummer, we got a vocalist, we have a lead guitarist, and we have a guitarist. For some reason not a bassist, and not claiming to be a bassist for sure, but back in high school, my high school band, I was a bassist, and we definitely do an important job. I don't know why you don't have them, but moving on, never mind. Let's just see what we got with HeatherSun's Shellshock. Here we go. Oh, interesting choice. Starting with only the left speaker on the guitar. Yeah, that was really nice power chords, getting me into the vibe of rock music. For some reason, I haven't heard a lot of rock music in a recent while, and maybe that's just fault of my own. Oh wow, I love those drums already, especially the attack on the compressors. Your audio engineer took time to get them perfect. Like, I don't know if it was actually recorded live or did you record like each sample and it was MIDI controlled. And oh, I couldn't ignore the visual on the screen. You got water guns, like, yeah, really gangster. I like the satirical aspect of rock music in it as well.
Here and contemplate. Wonder if this is destiny or fate. Will I make it to heaven's gate? I put my faith in Satan's sake. I buy my Bible one day late. Straight to hell on a silver plate. Oh my God, what a
I was trying to listen to what you were trying to say. I'm like, will I get to heaven's gate, or will I be like, will my fate be like Satan's fate or something like that? I like the contemplative aspect that you go in with the lyrics. And not the kind of vocalist I was expecting. Based on the metal, like the beginning of the song, I was expecting more of like the vocalist taking the space around 800 to 1000 hertz. But interesting choice to have the vocalist take like 2.5 to 3 kilohertz. And I've done mixes for other rock bands where we have a vocalist who's really good in their high pitches and their harmonics, like the 10th and 12th harmonics. So interesting choice. You definitely know what you're doing there. Oh, especially the guitars. I was loving the guitars. So after a while, I just completely blanked out on the vocals and I was listening to the guitars. I was trying to figure out whether you got like 2 different takes on the guitars and you pan them left to right. There's like has effect where they're just out of phase enough, so you feel like there's more stereo width. Like it's a really good technique to have the guitars on the side and vocals be in the center, so everything is not fighting for attention in the mix. Great start. Let's see where we go from here.
fucked up day. I shot in the dark in the late buffet. Finally awake, let's make no mistake. Long to the day, time to be great. Running over MC, state to state. Skipping lines at a super fast rate. Holy hell, what's left to say? Finally awake, let's make no mistake. Long to the day, time to be great. Running over MC, state to state. Skipping lines at a super fast rate. Holy hell, what's left to say?
Oh, love it, man. Love it. So far, it's one of those, like, it's the first time I'm hearing this and I couldn't stop my head banging. Like, it's amazing, the kind of energy you have, and really professionally shot music video as well. Like, with all the lighting effects and the camera movements, the Dutch shots that you have in there, and then the transitioning effects. I think we also had them in the beginning for the first 10 seconds or so. And right before we go from, like, the chorus break back into the second verse, we got like a quick little DJ scratch. Again, reminds me a little bit of Linkin Park. They were the first one to have DJ Han and combining electronic and rock music. I love it so far. So let's just keep moving.
What's got an enemy, a friend, got an enemy, three shots of dopamine, don't come to pity, I'm ready, keep green. Heat is okay, and this is crazy. Going in fake, going out with the bang. Shellshock fake, going straight to my brain. Home start playing for this gang, let 'em ring. Yes sir, remember our name. Rushing through this interlude. Favorite quote lately, what the fuck, dude? What's up, he that's supposed to do? Grab the cat, pew pew pew.
I just want to say, like, that's a great artistic take. The way you went from a staccato, so you were starting from 1 2 3 4 1 2, like we were going with that rhythm, and then you completely broke it, went into legato. It was a little crowded for my choice. Like, I would have loved to have some reverb and push the guitars a little bit in the background, but that's up to the engineer, and I don't want to complain. It's just that the vocals were a little bit unintelligible. Part of the second verse before we go back into the rhythm of the power chords. But I just want to say the work on guitar is amazing. Like, it's not complicated chords, like it's not playing something that's crazy out there, but even the simple things sometimes done well is beautiful. Like, as they say, less is more, you know?
What's left to say? Get into the trilogy, what's got an enemy, a friend, got an enemy, three shots of dopamine, don't have the video, ready, get gritty, haters okay, and this is crazy, going insane, going out with the bang, Shellshock thing, going straight to my brain, hoes up, play for this gang, let them hang, yes sir, remember what name.
There we have the solo I was waiting for. Oh wow, it's amazing, guys.
Left to say. Get into the trilogy, what's got an enemy, a friend, got an enemy, three shots of dopamine, don't have the video, ready, get gritty, haters okay, and this is crazy, going insane, going out with the bang, Shellshock thing, going straight to my brain, hoes up, play for this gang, let them hang, yes sir, remember what name. Only hell was left to say.
Oh, interesting outro. Really well shot. I like the DI work, the color calibration, the corrections that you have going on, the editing, the saturation. Nothing's overdone. And the same goes for the audio as well. Like, nothing was overdone. There were certain parts that I would have mixed a little bit differently. Doesn't mean one's better than the other, but just to give you context, like the vocals, in the beginning, the vocals were mixed nice, and I think that's the section that the engineer used. I would have used vocals from a much more busier section of the song. So what I would do is get a little bit of more of the high frequencies out there with like a Pultec EQ. Basically what it does is it's like a high shelving filter about 5-6K, and then you attenuate all the really high frequencies about 18K, so it gives you a little bit of glitter and shimmer on your vocals. So I think that's what was happening, is like at the time I was listening to it on the studio monitors. I'll give it a chance on my headphones as well, but I feel like the vocals were getting a little bit lost. Have a little bit more compression. I think there was compression on there. I feel like the attack was set a little bit too high. So the attack is the time that it takes for the compressor to kick in, because if it's instantaneous you get a lot of distortion, and sometimes it's not expected. And I feel like a general setting for vocals is like 10 to 15. I go around 12 milliseconds just as a starting point. But something for this genre where you're going with sudden transient sounds in the vocals, I feel like the attack could have been a little bit lower. It would have introduced a little bit of distortion. And to be honest, with this genre of music, I wouldn't have hated the distortion on the vocals a little bit. And the guitars were mixed pretty well. The guitars and the drums, no complaints about that. The guitars were the best part of the mix overall. Really well mixed, really well panned, really well performed as well. I could hear there was at least 2 different tracks, if not more. There was one in the center, right when verse 2 began. One thing that I would like is a little more loudness normalization. Again, somewhat like a compressor on the guitar, so the left and right, there was a little bit of loudness, more than a dB or 2. Your user's attention gets grabbed by it. So you do want stereo depth and stereo width, but you don't want the user to know that you have the stereo width. It is a little bit weird where you want a compressor to do its job, but also be transparent is the word that we use. As for the lead guitar, I would say that was the most disappointing part for me in terms of the mix, not in terms of composition. I was loving it. I was all like vibing to the rhythm and the arpeggios that you were going through. It was crazy. It was really nice, but disappointing in terms of the mix because it wasn't loud enough. It wasn't able to mask enough frequencies from the guitar. So something that I like to do, and I've seen a lot of other engineers with rock music do, is they have multi-band sidechain compression. So what they would do is they'll take the lead guitar as your source sidechaining signal, and on your background guitars, especially when you have distortion on, you have so many harmonics and there's intermodulation happening, there are frequencies that you don't hear in your brain, but they are already there in the mix, and they kind of drown out the lead guitar. So what I would have done is the multi-band compressor, I would have put somewhere around 500 hertz to 1.5, 2 kilohertz, which is the main frequency that guitar's intermodulation with distortion would kick in, and that would be triggered by the sidechain of the lead. So once you have the lead, it takes center stage and all the other guitars basically just stuck in the background, but it would be psychoacoustically transparent. It would make you feel like the lead guitar is louder without actually making the lead louder. But this is all constructive criticism. I'm just trying to give you my opinion in terms of the mix and what you could have done. As for the video, as for the composition, as for the structuring of the song, like verse 1, we had a break, verse 2, we had the same break, but with the vocals on, with the same chorusy vocals, a lead solo, and the end, like perfect A, B, C, B structuring. I like the overall song, and if you guys like it too, please don't forget to check them out. They have their single out on all platforms, including Spotify, YouTube. The video is amazing. They got really good support going on. If you haven't checked them out, I'm gonna leave their video in the description. Just give them a like. It's really well done. And while I was going through their website, they also have their own merch. They're currently on tour as well, so if you are around East Coast USA, they're going to be touring starting June 6th and goes all the way through to September 3rd. If you're in any of those cities, they're touring all across USA, Texas, California. If you get a chance, just show them support, show them all the love you can. And before I forget, I'm also going to leave their social media down in the description, so you can follow them all on your social medias. And that's going to be it from my side. This is VXT signing off. Don't forget, keep making great music and have a wonderful day. Peace out.